Composing Gloves here, and this is my review of the Jaybird True Wireless Vistas. I am an avid runner. I like to run 10 to 15 mile runs. Typically takes me an hour to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on pacing and hill work and whatever. These are sweat proof and they're also waterproof, so I decided to make the plunge. They are a little more pricey, but decided to see what they were about. This is my first adventure sort of into this sort of area of consumerism. So the case is really great. They are waterproof, but they're waterproof in that you could drop them in water and get them back out to still work. Actually, had my mom's a runner, and she actually lost her Galaxy Buds to the washing machine. I don't know if these would survive a washing machine, but I have a lot more faith in them. There's the case. Again, very sturdy. Never been worried about them falling out. They're held in magnetically, and the battery life has just been phenomenal. I've never charged the case once, and I've never charged the buds except by the case. So that's really amazing battery life. I don't know what the technical time is, but it's been like 2 months, and I'm surprised they're still chugging along at 100%. They have a little voice that talks to you, tells you the battery life when you put them in your ears. Half the time I don't get them in my ears fast enough, though, to hear that voice, but your phone will tell you what the battery life is. There's the cable, kind of short. These are what holds them in your ears. They've got this fin design, and it fits really snugly, but I will say they can hurt sometimes. It's like a weird sort of pain, though. I'll describe it in a bit.
Been meaning to do this review for a while. I've gone on, I don't know, 40, 50 runs with these things. That's what they look like. They fit pretty comfortably. They're easy to change out the ear pads. I think they look a bit goofy. People compare them to having like bugs in your ears, which I think is kind of funny. The mic is basically sounds like you're on speakerphone if you ever call anyone on these. The buttons work fine. When you push the button, there's a pretty loud click because it's attached to your head, so you get bone conduction. Now, the first week I went running with these, I almost returned them because the bone conduction is really pretty bad. When you go running, you're going to hear your feet and your head. There is something you can do. It's sometimes I get almost no bone conduction problems if you manage to set them just right. If you push them in, you'll get some pretty bad pounding. It's actually something that other reviewers have pointed out and returned. It is kind of a problem. I really wish there was a better solution, but if you can put them in just right, because I almost gave up after the first week. I was like, these things, I can't run with this kind of noise in my head. Yeah, the only other thing besides the bone conduction is some people have talked about them hurting, and they do. It's the weirdest thing, but if you wear them like in cold weather or something, you will, at least it's weird because it's not like pain that bothers you, but there's like an aching around your ear. I think it's from the mechanism they use to put them in. This thing pushes against your ear in a way that it kind of hurts, but it doesn't really. It's kind of confusing to explain. I've not found it a problem. It doesn't bother me that much, and it only comes up sometimes. If you wear them for like a super long time, maybe, but it tends to also go away. And you want to get ones that fit. They have 3 sizes. If you get the one that fits you, I don't think it's much of a problem. The sound quality's great. I don't mind that at all. I never have issues pairing with them. So would I buy them again? I'd probably look around, but for the fact that they're basically waterproof and sweat proof for physical activity, not for like swimming, but for pretty much anything else, I love them. I think they're great. I definitely would consider buying them again, but I'd probably check out some other options just because I haven't really tried a bunch. I have tried a couple other cheaper ones, and they don't even compare. They're not even in the same ballpark. It's not even a fair comparison. These things have worked flawlessly for me. So besides those couple of nitpicky things, the biggest problem by far was the foot pounding. It still comes up every now and then, and it becomes a matter of if I want to deal with it or not sometimes. So that's kind of unfortunate, and that's the main reason I'd probably check out some other things. But other than that, they're great headphones.
They do have an app. Don't buy this just because of the app, but they've got an equalizer on there, and they've got basically a manual on there if you can't figure something out. It should be available to you in the app. Would I recommend downloading it? Honestly, I think you don't even need it, but if you insist, you could do it. The EQ is pretty cool. I think they market it too hard. The equalizer isn't the selling point at all with this product. Don't buy it for the app. As far as them ever falling out, never been an issue for me because of that fin design they have. However, they do tend to sit too deeply in the ear. So I'm constantly trying to get them to sit a little farther out because that helps with bass. Way too much bass the further they go in your ear. If you've got an EQ on, but the headphones keep getting further in your ear, well, that's a problem. So I tend to try and get them to sit out further. And if you choose the wrong size, you may run into issues with them starting to fall out. But then if you choose the size that's right, you may run into pain. So there's this weird crossover where I found that the pain went away after a couple runs. They just sort of disappeared. So you may have to go through sort of a wearing them in phase. But as far as what I saw other reviewers doing, I thought this was way, way, way too positive. There are a lot of negatives, for me at least, when it came to these particular earbuds. They were great. They still work. They do the job. I paid a lot of money, though, for something that I'm just like, this. Sometimes I'd rather just not have them in my ears when I go running because of the foot pounding thing. And it's a really on-off thing. I haven't quite figured out how to make it work 100%. And I'm also pretty sure it's bad for your hearing to have so much low-end pounding. And I'm not sure. I guess maybe I have ears that are formed in such a way that this is a particular problem. So would I give these like you should buy them? Well, you should check them out. You should look at them. I'm not disappointed with my purchase. I do use them, and I have found sort of go-betweens, but it's not been exactly the smooth sailing ship that I think a lot of people are painting them out to be. So there's my 2 cents on it. If you use them, what do you think? Do you have this foot pounding issue? Is there some secret, some running secret that no one's told me? Let me know. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I was able to give you some perspective. Subscribe and have a blessed day.